Hi Taurus, it's Romy here. Welcome to my channel. This is your August 2021 soul story. I hope this finds you well, and if you're new, then this is a general reading which hopefully will give you some insights and messages as to how to navigate the next few weeks. And if you're returning, then welcome back. I appreciate you continuing to support my work. So we're going to open up Leo season with the energy of the Six of Swords. Now there is advancement, and I think it's important for you this month, Taurus, that you do give yourself permission to almost draw a line in the sand in order for you to feel truly free and to kind of almost enjoy and experience some of the outcomes, the impacts of the decisions and choices that you've been making over the last few weeks and months. There's a need to release and kind of untether yourself. Now you have a tremendous supportive tailwind, if you like, all the way through August with a series of trines with Uranus, who's currently moving through your sign. We start on the 2nd and the 3rd with Uranus trining Venus, and what we're likely to see in and around this time is positive, unexpected, sudden insights, news, information, particularly connected to finance and to partnership, even in romantic relationships. And then on the 19th and the 20th, Uranus trining with Mercury, so big news coming in here, and the opportunity perhaps to have sudden recognition or something kind of really coming out of the blue that is going to help advance you, but communication lines opening up beautifully. And then finally, right on the 21st, 22nd, as we celebrate the second blue full moon in Aquarius, we have Uranus trining with Mars. So really powerful, potent energy coming in at that time in the month. That second blue full moon is conjunct to Jupiter, so there is a tremendous sense of something kind of blowing up and really advancing you. And of course, Aquarian energy lights up that 10th house of career, of how you're leaving a legacy, of gaining recognition, anything that you're doing professionally, or how you want to leave your mark on the world. So something to really be aware of as you're moving through this month. You have a lot of supportive energies that are wanting you to do well, wanting to progress, and actually give you the opportunity for some permanent change. Now the Six of Swords always talks about that rite of passage for me, so it's the journey that you've been on, and you're gazing out to the distance here, but almost there's perhaps an aspect of the self, almost like your inner child here, that's still looking back. And perhaps that's because you haven't quite found closure in relationship to something. But it's important right now that you give yourself permission to kind of understand that the real love story in your life has always been between you and you, Taurus, so regardless of what you may be looking back towards is connected to relationships or just maybe something else in your life that has been a huge part of your existence or, your day-to-day thoughts, what has always been transpiring and you've been kind of unraveling and unpicking in this sort of journey of growth is this coming to terms with how to more deeply love and respect and appreciate yourself. And there's something about the way that the energy in August is working because of the bigger trajectory shifts that are coming in, the sort of suddenness of some of the events that are taking place. I think it's really giving you pause to kind of stop and to realise actually that relationship and how healthy it is between you and you. Now there's a far less emphasis on some of the outer planetary clashes that we've been experiencing, particularly through June and July. Not to say there's not going to still be a few bumps in the road this month, but overall there's more of a softening energy, which is really conducive to actually having these big energies by way of lofty goals, goals with soul, I like to call them in Leo season. So the opportunity from a leadership perspective to really step up, to invest your energy, to have the spark of something new coming in with that Ace of Wands, to start to feel a sense of passion and vitality and just energized in a way that perhaps you haven't for some time. And that may be for some of you just almost a change of scene. I think any opportunity that you get, particularly through August, Taurus, to kind of just get out of your local area and just have a different type of energy. There may be some short trips planned or, just feeling the energy of a new space. That's going to feel really, really restorative for you. I think part of the recognition that's also taking place right now is that, your life has never been about the need to justify or provide an explanation or an apology for your choices and decisions, you know, for who you are. And many people may not understand you, they may not agree with choices that you've made or how you're choosing to move forward right now, but there is something about the way in which you are really starting to understand that, you know, your life is just about your expansion, your growth. You know, it's the way in which you are aligning to that kind of sacred vessel of power within you. Your Six of Wands is about the recognition, for me, that you're giving to yourself first and foremost, okay? And it's almost like he's achieved some milestone and he's kind of laying down like a stake in the ground here and sort of marking the occasion to say, look, I've done it, I've achieved it. And so anything that you are working on or trying to advance by way of your own commitment and promises to self have a beautiful opportunity of success and recognition. Now, there's something very public as well that comes in when we're, you know, inviting the energy guide of the Six of Wands into our pathway. And so if you are wanting to take something and express it to a bigger audience, or to receive more recognition, more acclaim, or to kind of cultivate an expansion or a growth, perhaps in what you're doing professionally, or even if you're seeking to connect with you know, wider communities, expand your friendship groups, anything like this, excuse me, again, you've got this really supportive energy coming in. I feel like there's also somebody, this bird, I feel, who's kind of on board and sort of singing your praises, or like taking things that you've done and almost sharing that information. I have that quality coming through as well. So you might come up with some almost like unexpected connections who end up being like real champions for you, I think. So if you do something well at work, or, you know, if you're kind of announcing that you're now newly single and you're looking to find love, or if you're sort of seeking to initiate a new group or a new project, I think there's somebody that's going to be stepping in and really kind of helping you to achieve that goal through the course of this month. But remember what we said, you know, having to draw a line and kind of allowing ourselves to sort of feel free to actually go after some of the things that we desire and that we want is going to be important. And you may well have a couple of tests come up through the course of August that challenge you on that front, you know. But the Ace of Pentacles coming in here, I love the freshness of this new energy coming through for August. I honestly think, you know, for many Taurians, this is probably going to be one of the more uplifting and advancing months that you will experience through the course of this year, and it's time to take advantage of that. I think any ideas that you're getting intuitively, please start to nurture and cultivate them. This has come out across all of the readings, but the need to prepare, because things, when they happen, will happen far faster than you could have anticipated, need to be understood through August. So what that means is just, you know, whether you're getting your mindset on board, or if there's certain practical things that you need to sort out, you know, maybe there's finances that need to be dealt with, or just clearing space, or making time in your diary, making sure your mind, body and soul and your health and well-being is in the right place, just so that you're going to be in the best possible position to be able to take advantage of some of the inspiration and what comes through for you in terms of what's next. Now remember, both of these ace energies are just that beginning, that potential, that seed. And so even when we're looking at what might be showing up by way of relationships and connections, because I feel it's set to be quite a busy month for you in that way, lots of new people coming into your timeline, Taurus, but we don't want to put too heavy an expectation on what that might mean, or what that could turn into. At the moment, we just want to keep you in a really open space where you can be curious and you can just enjoy the experience. And if you can come at it from that perspective, then it's far more likely to start to reveal itself and the power of what it can do to potentially transform things for you personally and professionally. Now, of course, Leo season is 4th house energy for you. So there may be much bigger changes that are happening close to home within the family environment, even with moves and relocations. And especially with what's going on in terms of how you're kind of almost perceiving yourself, you're getting this big green light for something in the month of August, Taurus. So when you feel it, when you see it, when you get that guidance, Like, don't even hesitate, don't second guess yourself. It's a time to move, and to move with intention, to move with integrity, and to just give yourself permission to actually receive what's coming. Now, it's interesting because one of the other things that I was picking up when I was linking into your energy is that all of these Uranus trines that are coming through, that are delivering news and information, surprise events, rare events, of course, with that, full blue moon, out of the blue, once in a blue moon, this is the energy that we're working with. In your sign is really helping to ground something in. It's making it tangible and it's making it real. But then we have Uranus going retrograde on the 19th of the month. And so when that happens and there's a little bit of a slowdown for things and an opportunity to digest and to kind of really master something, the question here is, can you actually receive the information and the outcome that is transpiring? And I guess what I want to remind you of is, sometimes when we say we want something, and we might invest an awful lot emotionally, financially, physically, energetically into the achievement of that thing. And then when it happens, we find it very, very difficult to be able to kind of align with it and to not end up sabotaging it. So, it comes back to, is there an insecurity of, do I actually deserve this? Or even starting to question, I don't know if I want this anymore. And perhaps this also might play out because we're talking about the planet of Uranus, which is all about breaking free, that you have found your freedom in some regard. So you maybe got what you wanted, and then there's this bigger question of kind of, now what? And so the receiving is really important, because how well you receive is going to translate into how well you can actually integrate some of the experiences, the learning and the growth, and that's going to absolutely directly impact how you embody it moving forward. And of course, that's the cycle that we need to happen in order for you to have meaningful, positive change in your life. Now, on the 2nd of the month, we also have the goddess asteroid Juno, who is the ruler of the 7th house, which is marriage, partnerships, and she's going direct in the sign of Sagittarius. And the emphasis here is all about freedom and personal freedom within those partnerships. And I think that's also going to be really important for those of you who are finding yourself, and it's not just romantically, but in any kind of energy connection this August, and figuring out how you can kind of create space so that you can still go after or stay true to things that are really important to you, at the same time as being able to invest and show up in a really conscious relationship, whether that be professionally, platonically, in the family, or romantically. And so there might be a little bit of a juggling act here as you try to figure out. You might be having some people who are really pressing upon you for your time. You might have the sense of just wanting to break out of an obligation, or just feeling like you don't quite have enough. I don't have enough time, I don't have enough love, I don't have enough money. There's something here that I'm struggling to kind of make work. And yet at the same time, your chariot energy is sort of powering you forward, and it is giving you a will to succeed and a sense of victory. Now, both the chariot and the 6 of Wands here are really an indication for you this month of August, Taurus, that you are going to be leading something directly towards the finish line and doing very well with it. But of course, the 6 of Swords is about the reminder that it's the journey and how you change and what your experience of evolving is in the process of that. And so it shouldn't just be about what the ultimate gain is, but about who am I becoming as I reach that point. And that's really where you're going to start to see the bounty and the blessings kind of coming through more beautifully than perhaps you ever have before. I think there's something about the idea of being in a really strong position by way of negotiations as well, as what's just coming through here. The energy of Temperance is suggesting that you can kind of find that midpoint that middle ground, and perhaps exactly what you need if you're sort of dealing with trying to juggle or trying to find a sense of balance and make something work by way of all of these priorities that are going on for you. It may be that it's going to take a little bit longer to kind of get that new rhythm or that new routine in place, but I do feel that you're going to be able to find the right solutions. And in fact, when we look at that second full moon in Aquarius, whatever came up in the first one, which happened on the 23rd of July, and that could have stirred up some, fairly intense or fractious energies because it had some quite tense aspects, but the storyline will have continued all the way through August, and by the time we reach that point on the 21st, 22nd, bearing in mind we have that really, positive aspect with Uranus and Mars and this conjunct with Jupiter, you're set to find a solution, you're set to see rapid movement forward, to be able to overcome something, and actually to have the energy and the drive and the sense of mastery to be able to take charge and take control of something. It's going to be a very revealing moon. And what I mean by that is you're going to get the true measure of whether someone's commitment is where you want it to be. And if it isn't, whether again that's personally or professionally, you're going to have a really good opportunity at that point, like we said, to kind of draw a line in the sand, because there's so much advancement coming in for you. Remember, it's lighting up that 10th house, that you can't kind of hang around for too long. Now, the Temperance does suggest have a little patience, but if you are not seeing kind of any signs whatsoever, and you feel that at this moment in time it's kind of starting to hold you back, you're going to know what the answer is, because again, 8 of Wands, you're just on the move here, and there's this desire to get going. Now, there's important communication coming your way. We have this lightning storm in the background, and it really is like that lightning strikes with Uranus energy, sudden insights coming to you. And he's kind of gayfully jumping here through the fields, and there's a lot of golden yellow light beneath him. Now, yes, these clouds might look quite ominous, but he's actually looking up there with a bit of a wry smile and just going, you know what, like I've already been through that many storms. Like nothing here can really kick my ass in terms of what I've already experienced. So I have a sense of you taking things in your stride through the month of August, which is absolutely the right approach. Again, your Chariot's going to help you. Now remember, with the Chariot, we're carving a path through a landscape that doesn't, already have a road there, so it is going to be a bit bumpy. There is that sense of sort of feeling like it's a bit of an exhilarating, adventurous ride. I think that's good though, because as we move into Virgo season and we light up that 5th house energy, your heart chakra opens up. There is this desire to want to be more playful, more adventurous, reconnect with things that give you a sense of pleasure. Of course, that area highlights creativity, it highlights romance, it highlights our relationship with our children as well. And so what we have here is a lot of new, fresh energy getting seeded in, and you being able to take that energy and run with it and make it meaningful, and something positive can happen as a result of that. Now, I think one of the things that we really recognise when we go through these sort of deep, soulful rites of passage, and I'm just looking towards this kind of child here as it looks back, is this recognition that inherently each of us really just wants to be loved for our true selves. We want to be accepted for who we are. And if we could kind of come to terms with that, then really the world would be a far more balanced, harmonious place, and we would be able to let go of so much of the fear and the insecurity and the doubt, and we would, move directly towards a place of much more loving connection. And I suppose the invitation here is, in order to help drive that kind of an energy forward in the collective consciousness, Taurus, there's something about you understanding, like we said, the real love story is between you and you. Like what is taking place within your own sense of self-acceptance this month. Your Page of Cups here, is bringing something new to the forefront for you. And I love the innocence that always comes forth with the energy of the page in the right context. And here what we're seeing with this news and information, it's really heartfelt. And so a lot of I think what is coming to the surface for you in August is really coming from the heart. I feel like you're speaking from the heart. There's passion there. There's insight, you know, and there's this beautiful intuitive knowing that this is the time to say it, this is the time to do it, this is the time to kind of really realize it and own it and accept it within myself. And even part of that is about understanding that I don't know it all. There's more to learn, there's more to do, there's more to experience. You know, the page is still a little bit wet behind the ears, so to speak, you know, and there's a development and a growth that's still yet to happen. But even on that journey of discovery, we still want to be celebrating the successes that are going to come up for us in that capacity, you know. So I feel like there is such a kind of a littering of information and signs and messages that are going to be gathering in this month of August for you, that want to give you a little bit of confidence, if I'm honest, Taurus, because I feel like you need that in some area. There's something that I think you're a little bit unsure about. And, you know, one of the other things I want to say is that, you know, to the degree that people feel safe in your energy, that they feel seen and safe on an emotional level to be able to open up to you, to connect to you, to bond with you, to be a part of your energy field, is often a really direct reflection of how much inner work you've actually done. Because when you are more at peace, when you are more centered, when you are more accepting, and you have that value of who you are and what you have to offer, then it is a mirror, isn't it? And people will respond naturally by being really comfortable in your presence. And so, of course, the more we put focus and emphasis on that, the better our connections are gonna be. And the development of that through the course of this month, I think, is also something that is being highlighted, and we want you to be mindful of, especially if you keep hitting up against the same type of situation with people in your life. You know, if it's the same experience over and over again, if there's a issue around loyalty, if there's a question around sincerity, if there's, you know, something coming up around inconsistency, then, you know, where are we still feeling that we are out of sorts or out of connection with ourselves? And I think you're learning so much. There's such a tremendous amount of self-evaluation coming in this August that I think can be really, really progressive for you. I do think there are offers on the table. I think any of you that are trying to advance yourself professionally, whether you are looking for work, trying to seek promotion, trying to stabilize your finances, doing anything around your own business, or trying to start something, your passions can really be turned into something that can pay, that can deliver. We have your Animal Oracle card. This is from the Ark deck, the Caterpillar, the Four of Pentacles, scarcity consciousness, material success, fear of loss. So yes, we're working with our money story through the course of this month, and pay attention, like I said, to what comes up in and around, especially that Venus trining with Uranus early in the month. Now, Mercury moves into Virgo on the 11th, its natural ruler, which helps us to be more careful and considerate about how we're expressing ourselves and the type of communication, so we don't use words that kind of rile and provoke. We have to be careful of not being too critical or overly scrutinizing or judging ourselves or others. There is a requirement sometimes with the Four of Pentacles to kind of hold back and be a little bit careful, a little bit mindful. And with the two coming in here as well, there might just be an extra cautionary note for you, Taurus, about any big investments or big purchases that you're thinking about. It's not a no, because certainly this time, especially in Leo season, we have the opportunity to kind of activate and be really able to kind of demonstrate a level of confidence to see something through and kind of bring it to fruition. But at the same time, there's an energy here that says it might be a little early. So is there something about you needing to wait or just hold back? There's maybe going to be just a little bit of a better time. And there's something about the energy of preparation, like I said, because then what comes, and when it does happen, it's going to happen really fast. And it's almost like, I want to say, you don't want to jump the gun with something and sort of peak too early, or kind of think that you're at the point where it's the best that it could be, and actually that's still to come. Now, you're only really going to know that by trusting your intuition and knowing when the right time to kind of act and respond is going to be, okay? But certainly, take a check-in on where you might be feeling a little bit triggered, and that's also going to give you some good indication of what still needs to be worked on or ironed out, again, so that you can be in a better receiving energy for when things do happen. Okay, so you have tiny triumphs. This is from the Oracle of Magical Moments, and I kind of like the obscure kind of curiosity. It almost looks like something out of Alice in Wonderland, doesn't it? It's what we said. It's recognise along the way the successes and you know, the victories that you're having, so that it doesn't all lay at the kind of end point, and you put that big heavy expectation on that big final outcome. It really is as much about who you are becoming in the process. And remember how I said this bird sort of flying over the Six of Wands who's championing you? I feel like they're also here kind of giving you wise counsel and feedback on something. So perhaps they're also there as some kind of mentor or coach or just trusted advisor, somebody who in your life you really know has your best interests at heart, is kind of helping just when you need most to kind of hear the right thing at the right time. And so I quite like that coming through for you. We have this house in the background as well, and I think there is the reminder that, you know, many acorns can lead to the oak tree. So it's just like a series of choices and decisions and steps, and what you're going to be initiating through this month of August, and allowing yourself to kind of draw a line in the sand and sort of setting yourself free from something is also about to put you on the direct course to be able to kind of build something that, you know, what I'm going to say is like kind of beyond your wildest expectations, because there's something about this month of August where it's like, yes, let's go there. Let's have this big, it'll never happen, yes it will kind of an energy. Now, it might not manifest fully in the month of August, but the idea for it, the dream for it, the anticipation of it, or the signs that it's coming, or it's potential, or it's on the horizon, I want you to look out for that. Yeah, I want you to feel into the energy of that and let your physical body and the cells within you be open to the receiving of it. So let's have a look at the oracle card that you have. Aquamarine, connected into the element of water, and it brings intuition. The thing with aquamarine as a stone is it cools, and so it's very good, particularly if you've got any kind of irritation, any kind of pain, or if anything has got really hot and you know, the rising tempers, rising frustrations. It's a great stone to work with in that capacity. It soothes your emotions, but it also just literally like bring down the temperature of things as well. So if you are experiencing heat in some area, if you're being challenged, or it's literally a physical heat or is a physical pain, this is a great one to work with. But of course, it's also indicating that trust of your intuition. And more than ever, and I said this in the Aries reading, but it feels pertinent for you as well, Taurus, is that, you know, it's not a time anymore to kind of be waiting for proof of the intuitive nudges that you're receiving. If you are sitting back and saying, well, show me, give me evidence that I was right, then you're kind of robbing yourself, because there's something about like, let's just get on with it. The minute that it lands for you, just say yes, just own it, just move into a place of certainty. And take it at its merit, and actually what will happen is your intuition will get stronger as a result of that. That's how you start to command the energy, working with your higher self and your intuition. You believe in it more. You don't second guess it, you don't doubt it, you act upon it with an inspired action when it feels necessary and relevant to do so, and it's in a safe and balanced way for you in terms of your growth. So this is a general reading for the month of August, Taurus. If you want to join me for the extended, then we're going to go ahead and talk for another 20 minutes or so, give you a few more insights into what we pick up in the reading. I'll just invite you to think about a question I might not have answered in the main spread. We'll cover that off. You can find the link for the extended reading in the description and the comment section underneath. It's a way to support my channel, and if the reading's resonating, I really appreciate those of you that join me. So we will just clarify this main read now as well for our additional messages. So starting out with that 10 of Wands coming in here. 6 of Pentacles. 9 of Cups. This is the Dreamskeeper Tarot we're using. And the first deck was the Golden Wheel. Okay, we've got the 9 of Wands. I like that we have the Ace coming in after that exhaustion or period of stagnation. That's what you need to kind of spark the fire. Chariot, beautiful. Of course, it could be a Cancerian energy as well. We've also got Earth coming through, the Knight of Pentacles, Virgo, Capricorn, or indeed yourself, Taurus. We have more rest time coming in. I think it's important to get the balance right. Knight of Swords. Another Ace coming in here. New friendships, new relationships coming through. More Six of Wands. Real recognition for your work. This bodes well for you. Hierophant here. Another Six of Swords. A lot of Knights coming in as well, just so many messages, you know, and events happening quickly. Oh, Judgment, interesting. And the Tower. Put one more for that. Oh, get to the bottom of that in the extended. Okay, Eight of Swords, and finally Four of Pentacles. Okay, Taurus, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you beautiful blessings for this month, and if you're joining me for the extended, I'll see you there. Bye bye.